Hi guys, welcome. In this tutorial, I'm gonna model a GoPro. This is what we are gonna get at the very end. This tutorial will be special because I'm gonna use a new technique with mesh checking to create these kind of buttons in a really fast way. I believe the modeling will be in two parts, 1 and 2. So anyway, without further ado, let's start. I will start by changing my layout. For example, I always turn off save frames and we will not need any word plane, so turn that off. I will also switch to model mode, which will give us more space. And I want to mention something. I assigned some shortcuts to the edge, point edge, polygon, and model mode. And I highly suggest you to do the same thing. It's gonna speed you up a lot. So how can we do that? Go to Window, Customization, Command Manager, search for, let's say, points. So these are the same thing, point mode. I assigned one for this one. Then say assign. An error may pop up, but ignore that. Then look for edge mode, assign to polygon mode should be here. These are the same thing, assign 3, and the last one, model mode, and I assigned 4 for that one. So let's see that in action. Create a cube, make it editable. Let's press 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as you can see, this is very fast. Now I can delete that and I can start to import my image planes. Let's start from the front one. You can press middle mouse or you can press here. Shift and V. Back. I will select the front one. For the transparency, let's make it 8%. Go to right view, Shift V, back, and we should select side one. 80%, top view. For this one, I'm gonna select top and 8% transparency. Now I will bring my first object to the scene. It's gonna be a cube. Let's make it editable first. Press C. Point mode. Align the points. Now let's switch to right view and move the front and back polygons. It looks like the the top image plane should be over here. So press Shift and V and change the offset Y. Now right click, select loop cut. I will cut right here and here so we can extrude the camera parts. Press E, move tool, press Ctrl and extrude. We will not need the inside, so I'm just going to delete it. So now if we check our target object, it is obvious that these edges have the same bevel amount. So I will select this with rectangle selection. Right click, bevel. Let's start with one subdivision. Move the offset until we get a match, like 28. So first thing, I'm gonna handle this, select this, select bevel one more time. I will use the previous bevel amount, which was 28, say new transform. Now we need to fix here. select line cut, connect that one to that one, switch to points mode, right click, slide, press Ctrl and merge this one to that one. Then I'm gonna skip here. Same thing, line cut, merge these. And easiest way to clone here, selecting all the polygons, right click and melt. Before doing any bevel, I'm gonna connect that edge, that point to that point, because beveling an endgun sometimes may be a problem. But if I connect this, it should be enough. But I am not sure. We will see. Select these. I'm gonna also select this one as well. At the back side, let's select this with loop selection. Right click, bevel. Not forget here. Okay, bevel. So we need a good reference, and I'm gonna use the right view for the bevel. Let's bevel them something like that. It's gonna mess up the geometry, but we're gonna fix it in a minute. Select all. Check the mesh. Another thing I want to show you is this new thing with the R25. Actually, this has been in Cinema 4D, but it was hidden in somewhere around here. Now it is more obvious. So click here, go to mesh checking and enable check mesh. I will turn off them all because these are unnecessary. I just want isolated points and edge points. This is gonna be really handy as we move on, and I will show you that. Now we need to fix these red points. Switch to points mode. I will switch to slide tool, press Ctrl, and start to clean these. Let's try dissolving that edge. Right click, dissolve. Can move it over here, but we need to merge them first. Right click or M and Q. And that point should be, let me see, right here. Yeah. And that one over here. But we can move them freely on the X however we want. That side looks okay. Now we need to fix here. I will do that with slide tool one more time. Press Ctrl, merge. You may need to do that multiple times. And dissolve that edge. The shortcut is MN. I will switch to line cut tool. And I am still trying to figure out the new placement of the tools. So sometimes it might be too long for me to find these. Anyway, let's connect these. Let's see where can I connect it. Here looks good. Also, I will turn on single line. Then this can go here and can connect these together. This can go here. This can go here. And this one here. Because we use the same bevel amount, this is going to be really easy to connect these points. They should always match. Let's not forget the back. And empty points. Let's quickly connect these. And its destination is ready. Connect this. I believe that all of these are connected. Now we need to fill the gaps. I will do that with loop cut. Press shift, make your loop cut, then go to attributes of this loop cut and increase that cut. Let's see, 4 looks good. Now I will do the same thing over here. Press shift. I believe there is something wrong because the loop cut stopped right here. Yes, these are supposed to be 1. Now let's try to make the loop cut one more time. Key and L. Still doesn't work, which means we have something hang-on or duplicate points. Yes, here. Select them, merge these. Now loop cut works perfect. Press shift and at that loop cut, increase the numbers. I believe 3 will be enough. Then here, press shift. 3 is okay. Then we have this part. 2 will be okay. Then we have here. Press shift. Increase the numbers. So these points bothering me because they are not flat. I'm gonna select these, scale them on the Y, and press shift. Okay, the moment of truth, we need to subdivide that mesh, but we need to fix more. I will connect these with, let me see, what was that? Connect points and edges, or simply double M, M and M. Okay, let's see what we got. I will let the subdivision surface and put my cube under that. Let's turn off that edge break. I will turn on wireframes. I think this is the easiest way to spot any error on the mesh, and everything looks perfect. Also, I will use that subdivision number. Now I will check the real images of the products. So how can I do that? Okay, so these are on my second screen. You can see that the camera is a separate part, and we have some extrude over mesh, which means I need to select these edges and scale them on the Z to make them flat and move them to here. So that part will be perfectly flat. To make sure we can enable snap, press P and enable snap. You should select edge and move it to here. Now that surface, that surface is perfectly flat. So these are absent. We don't need them, just delete. Switch to edge mode, turn off snap, double click on these, switch to scale mode, press Ctrl and scale these. Actually, I'm not gonna do that, because when you do that, you may break the perfection of the surface. So the best way to do that, close the all with close polygon hole tool, switch to polygon mode, select the mesh and extrude. This is gonna give us more accurate result. But I see that that point is slightly off. Let's make an inset first. So we have some problems here, that corner and that corner. So I'm gonna move them by hand, inset them one more time. Still too much. Okay, that part is okay. Now we need to move that point, inset one more time, and everything looks perfect. Not perfect, but we will not spot the difference or imperfection. Now I'm gonna make an inset, delete the inside, make a loop selection, loop selection, or you can simply press U and L, move tool, E, press Ctrl, and extrude to here. We will need supporting edges, loop cut, one here. Actually, one should be enough. Or anyway, let's add one over here. Press Q to enable subdivision surface. Let's check our reference, and we get a pretty good result. I mean, similar. Now let's split these polygons to make the camera. Select them all in polygon mode, extrude, turn on caps. I'm gonna move them by move tool, supporting edges, and press Q. It's not gonna work, of course, because these two objects need to be a single group. So press Alt and G. I believe the frame is not that thin, so I'm gonna select these with loop selection and scale them slightly. Okay, that looks fine. Maybe too sharp. Can slide these with slide tool. You can start to name all objects. This one, base, camera. I will also start to assign simple materials. Let's put that to the base. For the color, I have that RGB value I always use, 160, 160, and 120, I guess. Yes. Duplicate that one. Now we can change the color, something like that. So here looks too sharp for me. Select the base, switch to edge mode. I will deselect these. Right click, select slide tool, and move these like that. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I will turn off that materials. Sometimes it is good to check your mesh in parallel mode. Let's do that. Thus I will enable my wireframes. It looks like some of the points are not aligned. Yes, this one. It is not that much importance, but I always try to keep my edges perfectly flat. Also, we are gonna have a bunch of buttons which needs perfectly aligned edges. These are okay. Now we can scale these to 0. Press Q. Let's check it one more time. Maybe, yes, here. Press Shift, scale, then slide them. You can use Move tool as well, but if you use Slide tool, there's gonna be less chance that you break the perfection of the surface. Okay, that should be enough. Now let's enable subdivision surface. As I said, I'm gonna use that subdivision number, which will give us more option to create details such as these buttons, seams. I will make subdivision surface editable. Press C on that. Let's say that to GoPro. I will go back to perspective view. Go to base. Now we need to split some parts. You can start with this one. By the way, my image plane, you can see that my object and image plane doesn't perfectly match. Actually, this is a model I modeled before doing that tutorial, but some parts are wrong, especially these curves and bevels, but this one is the right one. Now I will right click, split these polygons, go back to base and delete the polygons. Same thing for the front side. At this time we will need some slides. Select these edges, double click on them with slide tool and push them back slightly. Selection, fill selection, and select these polygon islands. Right click, split, go back to base and delete. If you delete these polygons, or if you want to try to delete these while your mouse on the layout, you will delete the whole object. But if your mouse is on the 3D screen, 3D viewport, it's gonna just delete the polygons. Keep that in mind. Now I'm gonna Alt double click on these lights and move my mouse down. It's gonna hide the other ones. We will need some thickness. Double click on these edges, press D, or right click, extrude them, switch to look at these supporting edges. Now I will hide that, unhide this one. This is the front one, so why don't we rename that the front frame? Same thing, select these edges, extrude, supporting edges, hide that, unhide that one. This is the back frame. Again, select these edges, press D. You can say new transform, which will carry on the previous amount of offset. But this time I see that this is slightly off because we have some angle. Let's set it to 0. No, we have still that. I don't know, let's extrude these. It's not that important. You can move them by hands. They're not going to be visible. Now I will add my loop cuts. Let's unhide these and enable subdivision surface. But we can't because we don't have. Let's add subdivision surface and put your subdivision surface. Switch your display. I always use N and A or N and B to switch between wireframe and normal view. And the seams look pretty good. Maybe we can create more materials. Let's assign that to the front frame. This one to the back frame. Okay, this is too saturated. Yes. Okay, now I will start to work on only the base object, so I can turn this off, press Alt and double click on the light. So now we have a bunch of buttons. I will use booleans for these. This is the easiest and fastest way to do that, at least for me. Let's see the wireframes. I will add a cube. Let's start with that one. I will scale my cube. I will stop right here. Then go to cube, enable fillet, increase the radius until we get a match with the image plane. That number may be too much, so 2 is good. Okay, 12 looks okay. Let's move it over here. Make it editable, press C. Go to top view, switch to polygon mode. Delete these polygons. Now I will press Alt and add a subdivision surface for that cube, so that we can see the final shape when I subdivide that cube. You can see that we don't get the exact shape that we want because we need some supporting edges to hold these curves. I will do that with line cut, select line cut. Let's cut here, then here. To make your cut perfectly straight, press Shift. Okay, now we start to get this exact shape. This one is okay. Actually, the top one is really similar to that one, so I will switch to model mode, press Ctrl, duplicate, R, rotate, press Shift, move it over here, scale it. Then we have that one, but I see that our image plane is not in a very good position, so I will offset that. Okay, that looks better, which means that I need to move that. Let's create another cube. Change the size. One more time, enable fillet, lower subdivision to 2, increase the radius, and 6 looks right. Make it editable polygon mode, delete these polygons. It's too long, let's scale these on the X. I will use that subdivision surface to see my final shape. As I did before, I will use line cuts. Here, 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 and the last one. Another thing, I should close these gaps or caps. Right click, close polygon hole tool. The reason I am doing this because bool won't work good with empty objects. Actually, we can make these 3 into a one object. Right click, connect objects, and delete. Switch to model mode. Create bool object. We are gonna use our base, so I'm gonna move my base under the bool and put these new cubes under the bool. Select the cube, switch to polygon mode, double click, and move these slightly. Same here. This one is slightly different. It has more depth, so I'm gonna stop right here. Now let's go to bool, enable create single object, and make the bool editable. Press C. I will put my base cube to its original group. Now, how can we fix this mess? First thing, I will select all these polygons. Then right click. We should melt these polygons. As soon as I do that, you will see these points pop up. This is because we enabled mesh checking, especially edge points. So if I click that, it's gonna automatically select these points and simply delete these. Now, if I go back to polygon mode and say remove angles, it's gonna automatically connect these, but I am gonna select these as well. Sometimes mesh checking isn't working perfectly, so we need to do this by hand. Okay, select this polygon, right click, remove angles. So something wrong over here. I'm gonna create a new cut starting from here. Then select these, merge them. New line cuts, merge. But make sure that you don't select something else. We can select this, right click, dissolve or M&M. Now we have a bunch of triangles. If I have time later, I'm gonna come back and fix them, but you can leave them as it is. It's not gonna be a problem. Let's make a loop selection and seal these edges by pressing Ctrl and sliding these. I will select that polygon, make any sets, press Ctrl, extrude one more time. Actually, let's make an inset again and move them slightly up. Now we need to connect these points, select them, right click, connect edges or points, M&M. These ones needs line cuts. Connect edges and points won't work if there is something between them. Okay, now it's time to add loop cuts or supporting edges. First one over here, here, and here. Also, when I made the boolean, it created a selection. So I should go to my material and delete that selection. Okay, moment of truth. Let's press Q. And it looks perfect. Maybe some sharpness over these polygons. Polygon mode, select these. Make any sets. Okay, perfect. As I said, we have a bunch of triangles or angles. If we have time, we are gonna solve them. But for now, they are just okay, no problem. I will do the same thing, select these polygons. Right click, melt. Go to mesh checking and select these edge points. Then simply delete. This time it looks like it did a good job. Switch back to polygon mode, right click, remove engans. Okay, not bad. Maybe we can connect this. Switch to edge mode, dissolve this, MNN. Maybe we can connect this. Okay, I will stop here because I can continue to do that for hours. For now, let's focus on that button. I will make any set. Then press Ctrl, extrude. Any other inset. Let's see, like that. Then move them. Okay. I need to connect these points one more time. This time I'm gonna do the line cut. Just connect this. Switch to polygon mode and inset for supporting edges. KNL loop cuts. Hit these loop cuts. And let's not forget to seal these edges. Make a loop selection, loop selection, UNL. Press Ctrl and slide these edges. So these edges will kind of protect that edge cut. And again, it looks perfect. Now we have this one more time. Select these. Right click, melt, mesh checking, select these, then delete. Select the polygon mode. remove engans. This time we need to work more on this. Let's start from here. I will switch to points mode, line cuts, cut this. Now I'm gonna switch to select tool, press Ctrl and merge these. Switch to edge mode, select these edges, then dissolve them, M and N. Let's quickly fix the bottom as well. First, hit these new cuts. Switch to points mode, select tool, press Ctrl, merge these points. Over here we have, let's see, 3 points, M and Q. Edge mode, select these and dissolve them. Looks like we have something over here. Yes, 2 points. I can melt these points. Sorry, merge. I need to connect this. Then dissolve that edge. Dissolve that edge as well. Now, let's see, I can connect that one to that one and dissolve that edge. This one is okay. This one, I need to create a new cut. Switch to points mode. Merge these. This one could go over here so that I can dissolve that line cut one more time and connect these points. Switch to points mode. Press Ctrl and merge these points. Delete that edge. So we will have a polygon, quad polygon. Line cut one more time. This time connect these. And this should be merged like that. Now I will select these edges because they are too close. It may have a problem. That way we see that we need to merge that point. Same over here. Select these. Use some space. Now double click on the edge loop. Select slide. Press Ctrl. Select this one more time. This time I'm gonna slide them to the inside. Let's connect these. M and M. For the side ones, I will use line cuts. Switch to polygon mode, make a loop selection, then fill selection, U and F, make an set, and a loop cut, and press Q. Let's see. Okay, we got nearly a perfect surface, except here I forgot to dissolve that one. Also, I will select these edges, select the first one, press Ctrl and Shift, select the last one, switch to slide tool, and move these down. Kind of relax here, they are too close. It's not a problem over here because the surface is perfectly flat, but when we have some kind of curve, it's not good to have these edges too close to each other. Press Q. Now I should get a perfect result. Now we have another part over here. Let's create cube model mode, scale it. My image plane is a little off, so I'm not gonna follow it that time. All right, now I'm gonna scale these on the Y, turn on Y frames. It looks like these edges are overlapping, so it's gonna be a good move to select these with rectangle selection. And slide them to over here. Bottom part looks okay. Now let's check the sides. This one okay, this one okay. Okay, everything was fine. Switch to model mode, press Alt, select bool, put the new cube under base cube. So this time I will need two parts from a single object, which means that I need to make the cube editable and make some holes. Switch to polygon mode, move tool, delete that polygon. Now this is what I want. You can see that the cube cuts the polygons. So we can go to bool, say single object, and make it editable. Delete the null and delete these polygons. Now I will make a loop selection. Sorry, I will switch to edge mode and make a loop selection. Then UNF, field selection. Right click, split, go back to original one and delete the polygons. First, let's hide that. And I'm gonna rename that to back to base. Go to mesh checking and select these edge points. Delete them. Right click, select line cuts and connect these points. Switch back to edge mode, select extrude, and extrude these all the way, let's say over here. Loop cut, supporting edges. Let's press Q. I will go back to my base objects material and select that selection. This is because of the boolean. Okay, this one, sorry, this one looks a little off because these edges are too far away from here. So I'm gonna select these, press Ctrl, sorry, select edge, press Ctrl and Shift, then select the last edge you want to select. Then press MNO or slide and slide these over here. Okay, now it looks better. This time I will hide the base and unhide that part. Mesh checking one more time, select these edge points and delete. This time though, we will need something else. To see it, I will press Shift and V, right view, and select the side 2. So this should be lower. This should be somewhere around here. So now we are trying to model here. That looks fine. Now we have something that pops up from here. Looks like we need to slide these, or we can keep that. We don't have to always follow the image plane. Select extrude this. I will delete these selections. This one we will need also thickness. So I'm gonna select these. Press T and extrude. Or no, I should deselect these. Extrude. I will scale them. Or instead of scaling, extrude them. Extrude them, then press Shift to change the rotation. This is way better. Switch to bridge tool. Connect these. Excuse me, not now. I need to select these. Select the first one, Control and Shift. Select the last one and extrude. No, because we have polygons over here. Select them, then delete. Now I should extrude them. So because of the angle, it didn't work again. So why don't we add a loop cut over here? Select these edges and select Stitch and Sew. Press Shift. Same thing over here. Select, connect them, then right click, close polygon hole. Right click, line cut. We will need these supporting edges. Oh, not that. Line cuts, excuse me. Cut over here, here, then all the way here. Then finish it like that. Then connect these. Slide tool. Can connect these like that. Same here. For the top polygons, we will need another loop cut or supporting edges. It's gonna stop when it sees an endgun, which is really handy for us right now. Now we can continue to cut from here. Connect these and slide. Connect and slide. Something happened over here. Let me quickly fix this by merging them. Another thing, these are too high. I'm gonna lower these. Press Q. Unhide the base. I believe that part is softer. Double click on these and move them up. Okay. Turn on these back. So these are too soft. So double click on these. except that edge or that one. So these should kind of connect or follow the same edge flow. Press Q and slide this. Same here. Okay guys, I have just checked the reference images and I saw that we have here mistakes were made. We need to clean that. Let's solo it. Polygon mode. First, let's add a loop cut like here. Now select this, press D, and extrude, but turn off caps. Then delete, sorry, not delete these. I need to delete these polygons. Select them. By the way, you can select them by pressing right click. Delete a loop cut over here. So I can connect these. MQ. I'm gonna slightly slide this. Press Q. I will let a loop cut over here. And here. Also, we need to close here. We can see it from underneath. Press Ctrl and Shift, select the last edge, extrude, merge these points. I hope this is gonna be enough. Maybe we can move them like that. Okay, we can turn off solo. I believe that we have a hole on this piece. Yes, right here. Let's create a cylinder. Scale it. It's right here, which means that I can use 4 polygons, which means 8 segments for the cylinder, no height segments. Select base, polygon mode. I can use this, make an inset, switch to points mode and slide tool, and slide the points to get a match. You don't have to be precise. Okay, we can get rid of the cylinder. Or no, we skipped one point. No, go cylinder. Polygon mode, move tool, press Ctrl, extrude one more time. So this is gonna be a sporting edge. Then I can select these edges, select slide, press Ctrl,